The first heaven is atmospheric, the sky above us, but with cosmic infrastructure. Enoch gets placed on clouds and sees what controls all earthly weather. There's a sea up there bigger than any ocean on Earth. This is the control center for every drop of rain. Enoch watches angels managing treasure houses of snow, massive crystalline vaults where specialized guardian angels stand watch over cosmic storehouses. These guardians control the opening and closing of each chamber. When clouds form and disappear, angels are operating celestial storage units according to divine command. The treasure house of snow contains immense quantities stored in organized sections. Angels monitor temperature, release schedules, and distribution patterns. Each snowflake that falls anywhere on Earth came from these supervised inventories. The dew house appears like olive oil, but holds the essence of every flower on Earth combined. Multiple angels guard this repository, managing the opening and closing mechanisms that control moisture release. Every morning, when dew appears on grass, it flows from controlled celestial distribution. Angels determine the exact amount, timing, and location of each release. The treasure houses operate with military precision. Angels assigned to frost storage maintain separate facilities. Rain repositories contain different classifications: light rain, heavy rain, storms. Each category has dedicated angelic supervisors who ensure proper deployment according to seasonal requirements and divine purposes. 200 angels manage stellar operations, coordinating with these weather systems. They oversee star movements that affect earthly navigation and work with weather angels to synchronize celestial and atmospheric phenomena. The first heaven functions as mission control, where natural processes receive supernatural management. The second heaven contains darkness thicker than anything on Earth. This is a cosmic prison for fallen angels. Enoch sees fallen angels hanging in chains, suspended in eternal darkness, waiting for judgment. They weep constantly without stopping. The sound echoes through the entire realm like a symphony of despair. These are organized apostates who took counsel with their own will and turned away with their prince, who is fastened on the fifth heaven. This prince is Satanael, the once mighty archangel who led the first rebellion against divine authority. Before his fall, Satanael held one of the highest positions in the celestial hierarchy, possibly among the seraphim or cherubim closest to God's throne. His beauty and wisdom were unmatched among created beings, which ultimately became the source of his downfall. Pride corrupted Satanael when he began believing his glory rivaled God's own. He convinced these angels that they deserved higher positions, that divine commands were restrictive rather than righteous. When Satanael proposed rebellion, they followed willingly, thinking they could establish a better cosmic order under his leadership. These angels once held positions of incredible power in the celestial hierarchy. They had access to divine councils, managed cosmic forces, and served directly under God's authority. But pride corrupted them. They began questioning divine decisions, believing their wisdom superior to God's commands. When their prince proposed rebellion, they followed willingly, thinking they could establish a better order. The prisoners recognize Enoch and desperately beg him to intercede for them before the Lord. But Enoch realizes the terrifying implications. If beings this powerful could fall, what security does any created being have? He responds with humility, acknowledging his mortality and inadequacy to pray for angels. The second heaven serves as a warning that rebellion against God carries consequences beyond comprehension. These angels possessed abilities that dwarf human understanding, yet now they hang helpless in cosmic darkness, awaiting final judgment. The third heaven is paradise and punishment existing side by side. Paradise first, trees with fruits that smell like divine perfection. The tree of life sits in the center, where God actually rests when he visits. This tree is gold, red, and fire simultaneously. Impossible, but there it is. 2 springs flow from it. One produces honey and milk, the other oil and wine. These split into 4 rivers that flow down to Earth's Eden. 300 blazing angels maintain this garden, singing non-stop in perfect harmony. Then Enoch gets taken to the north side. Complete horror show, darkness with no light, but a river of fire flows through regions of frost and ice, impossible combinations of torment that defy natural law. Fearsome angels bearing angry weapons administer merciless torture. These are specialized executioner angels whose sole purpose is carrying out divine justice. They show no compassion because their role requires perfect implementation of punishment without emotional interference. The proximity is deliberate. Paradise and punishment exist within steps of each other to demonstrate divine justice operates with absolute precision. The same realm contains eternal bliss for the righteous and eternal suffering for the wicked. Those in paradise can see the consequences of rebellion, while those in torment witness what they forfeited. The contrast serves as cosmic education, showing that choices made during earthly life carry eternal weight. No middle ground exists here, no gradual transitions. You end up on one side or the other based entirely on how you lived. These revelations about divine justice and cosmic consequences have been deliberately hidden from mainstream understanding. If you're discovering how different the spiritual reality actually is from what you've been taught, consider subscribing and turning on notifications to see more of these suppressed mysteries unfold. The fourth heaven manages cosmic time. Every sunrise, season, and lunar cycle gets controlled from here. Enoch witnesses the sun's operation with mathematical precision. 4 great stars positioned on the right side of the sun's wheel, 4 on the left side, each commanding 1,000 lesser stars beneath them. This creates an escort of 8,000 stars that accompany the sun continuously across its celestial path. 15,000 angels work the day shift with the sun, while 1,000 handle night operations. 100 specialized angels ignite the sun each morning through controlled celestial combustion processes. The most remarkable beings here are the phoenixes and chalkidri. These creatures have lion feet and tails, crocodile heads, and rainbow-colored appearances measuring 900 measures in size. Each possesses 12 wings like angels. Their specific function involves heat and moisture distribution. The phoenixes manage thermal regulation, while chalkidri control humidity levels across Earth's surface. They operate according to precise divine commands, ensuring optimal atmospheric conditions for earthly life. The sun operates through 6 eastern entry points that control solar emergence according to seasonal requirements. The sun enters through different openings throughout the year, creating changing day lengths and seasonal variations. 6 corresponding western exit points manage sunset timing and the sun's return journey beneath the Earth. The lunar system coordinates with solar operations through 12 access points governing moon phases. Each lunar month follows exact patterns, some lasting 31 days, others 30 days, creating a 354-day lunar year that falls precisely 12 days short of the solar year. The Great Cycle represents the ultimate cosmic calendar spanning 532 years. This cycle accounts for every astronomical variation, seasonal adjustment, and temporal discrepancy. Quarter days omitted over 3 years get corrected in the 4th year, maintaining perfect celestial balance. During certain periods, celestial bodies are removed from heaven for 3 years to reset cosmic timing before being restored to their proper positions. All these operations require constant coordination between solar angels, lunar angels, stellar commanders, and atmospheric creatures working under unified divine command to maintain temporal order across creation. The 5th heaven contains the Watchers, angels whose rebellion corrupted both heaven and earth. Giant beings with human appearance but withered faces fill this realm, perpetually silent, performing no service, just waiting for judgment. These are the Grigori, led by Satanael, who rejected the Lord of Light. 3 Watchers violated the ultimate cosmic law. They descended to Mount Hermon, a sacred mountain that served as a boundary between earthly and heavenly realms. There they broke their sacred vows by taking human women as wives. This wasn't simple lust. Angels mating with humans created a genetic contamination that threatened the divine plan for humanity. Their offspring were giants, The Nephilim, beings of immense size and violent nature who possessed both angelic power and human corruption. These hybrids filled the earth with violence and lawlessness, creating chaos that made normal human civilization impossible. The contamination spread beyond genetics. The Watchers taught humans forbidden knowledge, advanced weaponry, cosmetics, astrology, and magical practices that humanity wasn't meant to possess. This knowledge transfer accelerated human corruption and created societies built on violence and occult practices. The giants themselves became a plague upon the earth. Their supernatural strength and size made them unstoppable destroyers who consumed vast resources and terrorized human populations. They reproduced rapidly, creating bloodlines that carried both angelic abilities and demonic appetites. These hybrid dynasties established themselves as rulers over pure humans, creating a world where the strong devoured the weak without restraint. God's response was decisive. The Great Flood became necessary to cleanse Earth of this hybrid population and reset human civilization. The Watchers now weep for their fallen brothers while awaiting their own judgment, to be cast under the earth until heaven and earth end forever. The fifth heaven reveals that cosmic rebellion creates consequences far beyond the rebels themselves. The boundary violation between angelic and human realms required divine intervention on a planetary scale to prevent the complete corruption of creation. The sixth heaven operates as the cosmic administration headquarters where every human deed gets documented. 7 bands of angels shine brighter than the sun. These administrative angels control stellar movements, lunar phases, and solar cycles. When evil occurs anywhere, they issue immediate corrections and instructions to lower-ranking angels for implementation. The administration operates through specialized departments handling different aspects of creation. Angels assigned to seasons and years maintain temporal records. Angels governing rivers and seas track all water-related activities. Angels overseeing fruits and vegetation monitor agricultural and ecological data. Each department maintains comprehensive files on their assigned earthly systems. Within this structure, the most critical work involves human documentation. Celestial scribes maintain complete records for every human soul. Every action, word, thought, and intention gets inscribed by beings whose entire existence revolves around documentation. These scribes analyze behavioral patterns and recommend interventions rather than passively observing. When the scribes detect problems in human behavior, they compile reports and submit them to administrative angels. These administrators then issue specific commands to field angels who implement corrections on Earth. Divine intervention follows detailed intelligence analysis rather than random occurrence. Coordinating all these operations, 6 phoenixes, 6 cherubim, and 6 six-winged ones fly constantly throughout this realm. Their songs serve as the communication network that synchronizes every department, ensuring information flows seamlessly between human documentation, environmental monitoring, and administrative decision-making. This cosmic administration achieves perfect efficiency, unlike earthly bureaucracy. Every file gets processed immediately, every decision gets implemented precisely, and every intervention gets tracked for effectiveness. The system works because beings of incredible power dedicate their existence to maintaining accurate records and executing divine will. Your life operates under constant celestial observation by beings whose intelligence-gathering capabilities exceed any earthly surveillance system. Every choice you make gets documented and potentially triggers administrative responses designed to guide you toward divine purposes. The seventh heaven marks the boundary between created beings and divine presence. This realm contains the highest possible level of created existence. 9 orders of incorporeal beings operate here at maximum created capacity. Dominions execute cosmic law across all creation. Orders maintain the fundamental structures holding reality together. Governments implement divine decisions throughout the universe. Cherubim guard sacred mysteries. Seraphim burn with pure devotion. Thrones carry divine justice everywhere. Many-eyed ones observe all creation simultaneously. The light here burns with intensity that makes earthly fire appear as darkness. When Enoch encounters these beings, his human nature experiences overwhelming terror, not fear of punishment, but the physical recoil that occurs when finite existence approaches infinite holiness. These beings maintain perfect hierarchical order. They position themselves on 10 ascending levels according to rank, bow in synchronization toward the Lord's distant throne, then return to their stations in constant worship. From this position, the complete celestial structure becomes visible. The 10th heaven contains God himself, Aravat in Hebrew. The 8th and 9th heavens serve as transition zones between created realms and divine essence. At this boundary, Enoch's original guides reach their operational limit. Their authority extends only through created realms. God sends Gabriel, whose authorization includes access to divine presence, to escort Enoch through the final 3 heavens, where ordinary angels cannot survive proximity to uncreated divinity. The journey through these cosmic hierarchies reveals knowledge that's been systematically suppressed for centuries. If these insights into the true structure of spiritual reality resonate with you, hitting that like button and subscribing helps more people discover these ancient revelations that mainstream institutions prefer to keep buried. The 8th heaven governs seasonal administration across Earth. Called Muzaloth in Hebrew, this realm controls the alternation between drought and abundance that shapes human civilization. 12 constellations operate from this heaven as administrative districts, each responsible for specific seasonal functions. Unlike astrological beliefs that treat stars as sources of fate, these constellations serve as celestial departments managing practical earthly conditions. Each constellation contains beings who specialize in particular weather patterns, agricultural cycles, and environmental conditions. The seasonal decisions made here directly impact human spiritual development. Periods of drought test human faith, forcing communities to rely on divine providence rather than earthly abundance. Seasons of plenty provide opportunities for gratitude and sharing resources with others. Neither abundance nor scarcity occurs randomly. Both serve calculated spiritual purposes. The beings who administer these seasons possess detailed knowledge of human psychology and spiritual needs. They coordinate droughts with times when communities require testing, and abundance with periods when generosity can flourish. Every harvest failure and every bountiful crop reflects conscious decisions made by administrators who understand how earthly conditions shape human character. This administration operates beyond the worship-focused activities of lower heavens. While beings in the 7th heaven praise God continuously, 8th heaven inhabitants implement divine will through practical environmental management. Their service involves making specific decisions about when and where to apply spiritual pressure or relief through natural conditions. The 8th heaven reveals that what humans perceive as natural weather cycles actually represents sophisticated spiritual education delivered through environmental conditions designed to promote human growth toward divine purposes. The 9th heaven serves as the residential headquarters for cosmic authorities. Called Kuchavim in Hebrew, this realm contains the permanent homes of beings who govern universal systems. Unlike the 8th heaven's administrative offices where seasonal decisions get made, the 9th heaven houses the actual living quarters and private domains of cosmic rulers. Each of the 12 constellations maintains elaborate celestial households complete with courts, councils, and hierarchical staff structures. What humans observe as distant star patterns are actually vast residential complexes where beings of immense power conduct their personal affairs. These stellar mansions function as the seat of cosmic nobility. Agricultural oversight, navigation control, weather management, and biological rhythm regulation all flow from decisions made in these residential councils. The beings here don't just administer earthly systems. They own territorial jurisdictions spanning entire regions of creation. Each constellation operates as an independent cosmic estate. The beings residing here possess hereditary authority over their assigned domains, passed down through celestial generations. Their households include subordinate angels, specialized servants, and administrative staff who implement the residents' decisions across earthly and heavenly realms. The ninth heaven represents the final level of created aristocracy. These cosmic nobles exercise genuine authority within their territories while remaining subject to divine sovereignty. They make independent decisions about their jurisdictions but operate under constitutional limits established by higher authority. This heaven functions as the ultimate gateway between created hierarchy and divine presence. Everything from the first through ninth heavens operates through delegated authority. Even the most powerful cosmic rulers remain creatures exercising borrowed power. Beyond this final level of created nobility lies only the uncreated source of all authority. The 10th heaven is called Aravat in Hebrew. This isn't another created realm, but where God actually lives. Gabriel brings Enoch before God. The Lord's face looks like iron heated in fire, emitting sparks. But even this description fails because human language can't describe God properly. God's throne isn't made with hands. Countless cherubim and seraphim surround it, singing constantly. The divine glory is beyond anything human minds can process. Enoch falls down and worships, the only response that makes sense when facing absolute reality. God appoints him to permanent service in the highest heaven. This is a cosmic appointment, not just an invitation. The glorious beings confirm this decision. Enoch gets completely transformed. Michael strips off his human clothing and covers him with divine ointment that shines brighter than light. New garments get placed on him that make him indistinguishable from the angels serving around God's throne. But the transformation is just preparation. God summons Pravil, an archangel whose knowledge exceeds all others and who records all divine deeds. Enoch gets access to God's private archives. For 30 days and nights, Pravil dictates universal knowledge to him. Everything about heaven, earth, sea, elements, celestial bodies, seasons, wind patterns, angelic hierarchies, human languages, and divine commands. Most importantly, Enoch learns that all souls were prepared for eternity before the world was even created. The final revelation comes directly from God, secrets not shared with angels. Before anything visible existed, God moved through invisible realms creating everything. Divine creative activity flows from God's nature. Creative love requires expression through creation, not from necessity, but because love naturally seeks objects for expression. Enoch's journey maps the complete governmental structure operating across all reality. From weather management in the first heaven to God's creative heart in the 10th, each realm serves specific functions in the cosmic hierarchy. His transformation from mortal observer to eternal witness ensures these revelations survive for all generations. The knowledge in his testimony maps the actual architecture of reality, the true structure spanning from earthly weather patterns to God's throne. This knowledge survived centuries of suppression because truth cannot be permanently destroyed. The 10 heavens operate as described, the governmental structure remains functional, and the cosmic hierarchy continues managing reality according to divine design. For those ready to understand these mysteries, subscribe to Ancient Underworld for continued exploration of suppressed spiritual knowledge. The question facing everyone who encounters this knowledge remains: what will you do with these revelations about reality's true nature?